after we announced our winners for the 18th competition. We embarked on a journey to bring Manga Jiman everywhere. Our judges convened for a long and rigorous judging session to decide who will be the next Manga Jiman and Yonkoma winners. Let's go! Welcome back. Are you all excited for today? I know I am. We know you can't wait, but before we begin, let's hear from Shuji Maeda, Minister for Public Diplomacy and one of our judges for this year.
My predecessor did some juggling or some performance at the ceremony, and I decided not because I can. But I'm very happy to host you for this ceremony of Manga Jiman. Thank you again for joining us for this 19th Manga Jiman Contest Award ceremony. First of all, congratulations to all the winners. Well done. To everyone who submitted your work, even if you didn't win this time, thank you sincerely for taking part. I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to our sponsors for their generous support. This event would not have been possible without you. I believe that everyone here today sees something special in manga. It's a unique form of expression with possibilities that go far beyond other media. Actually, when I told my family recently that I would be serving as a judge for this contest, my children, one in high school and one in primary school, asked me, "Do you really understand manga?" It has been my family's hobby to tease middle-aged men in the family, so I have to bear with that. But to defend myself, I explained that I grew up reading Doraemon, Dragon Ball, and Captain Tsubasa. But after actually judging the entries, I realized something important. That is, it doesn't really matter how many manga you read as a child. What matters is understanding the power of manga as a medium. In the past, manga was often seen simply as entertainment. But over time, it has evolved into something much more. Something that can explore personal struggles, address social issues, and connect people across cultures. Sometimes seriously, sometimes humorously. And looking at your works this year, I felt strongly that manga is no longer just for kids. It is truly part of the cultural mainstream. And I was also impressed by the wide range of participants, from young creators to more experienced artists. It really shows how manga can bring generations together. This year's theme was bridge, and I was inspired by the variety of interpretations. Physical bridges, emotional connections, even spiritual ones. To me, the beauty of manga lies in the ability to tell powerful, complex stories within just a few pages, combining words and visuals in a unique way. No matter how advanced AI becomes, the ability to truly understand this medium and to create original ideas, to express them in such a human way, that is something only people can do. So this contest is not just about winning. It's about sharing ideas, inspiring each other, and nurturing creativity. I trust you will continue to bring your imagination to this contest in the years to come. Today, I hope you will celebrate the winners connect with fellow manga enthusiasts, and maybe even find inspiration for your next stories. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. We now have someone special to introduce you. Goroeko, who won the Bronze Award in the International Manga Award. Can't wait to hear all about it.
Hello everyone. I'm really nervous and I might start talking nonsense, but I won't because I prepared my speech. But before that, I want to say a few words about this book. I self-published it in September 25 and I've been talking and promoting it ever since, and I don't do this anymore. But if you are interested, I prepared special postcards today with a QR code. Can you please? Thank you. Sorry. With a QR code, which will take you to a website with all necessary information and with the book itself, where you can read it. So after the official part, you can find me and I will happily give it to you. That's it. And now my speech. I am an immigrant and my life in this country depends on my job, which unfortunately has nothing to do with comics. I'm also a parent of a 6-year-old who still needs my attention. So, as you can imagine, I don't have much free time. But every minute I could find after putting my kid to bed, I spend on writing, drawing, publishing, and producing this book. That's how much I love manga. To me, comics are an art form equal to cinema, literature, or classical paintings. They bring us together, support us in difficult times, and give us hope in the darkest hour. That's why, in the world where large corporations try to gaslight us into believing that AI-generated future is what we actually want, I think it's important to cherish our will to create. Don't waste your time trying to pursue perfection. And I say this as a completely hopeless perfectionist. I have reprinted Delirium 7 times, trying to get it just right, and I still notice tiny mistakes in my book. But at the end of the day, after you've done all the hard work, it never really matters how perfect the print is. Because this book, with all its imperfections, is made of pure love. Love to the craft, for manga, for the people who supported me, and for storytelling itself. And I'm deeply grateful to the International Japan Manga Award for seeing that and for recognizing my work. Comics are hard, and working on them as an indie creator can be a very isolating experience. Events like this are not only a chance to feel seen, but also to meet other creators who share the same passion as you. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Show your work, spam publishers with your pitches, even if you stay unnoticed. Even if you end up being rejected, cherish your will to create. Because your ugly sketches might make someone smile, your bad pacing or amazing storytelling might give someone hope and inspiration to go outside the box and try something new. Make comics, put everything you have into them and let them find their readers, because someone really needs to hear your story. And remember, on this journey, you're not alone. That's it.
So inspiring, huh? Now it's time, the announcement of the winners for the 19th Manga Jiman Competition. Our first category is the Yonkoma Youth Prize. The winner of Yonkoma Youth will win a bespoke prize by Manga Originals and a framed print of their winning entry from Ezen. And together with all our winners, they will also win brush pens from Shachihata.
Good evening everyone, I'm Dan Byron from mangaoriginals.co.uk, and once again I'm back to present the prize for the Yonkoma Youth category of the Manga Jiman competition. This year's prize is a page of art from Rumored Amami by Tori Kazuyoshi. The story centres around a young transfer student who always smiles regardless of whatever pranks his classmates pull on him, and in this prize page he's trying to bridge the gap between himself and his classmates by organising a big party. Now you might think the artwork looks kind of familiar, and that's because Tori Kazuyoshi is the former assistant of the legendary gag manga artist Fujio Akatsuka. Congratulations to our lucky winner.
Our Yonkoma Youth winner is Ethan Herwino.
My name is Ethan Hawano, and the title of my entry is A Fresh Start. I had to incorporate the theme of bridge into my work, so I thought of an idea and I needed a sort of character for it. So when I was at my drawing table thinking, I heard like a little noise coming from somewhere, and it was a little cat doll waving, so I used that into my story. Yeah, so this was one of my ideas of how to make it stand out from the rest, I liked drawing water and backgrounds, so I incorporated that into my story, and I feel like the water outside the panels sort of show the flow of the story, like literally in waves and that with the flow, and like where readers can follow the waves to follow the story in a way.
Let's hear the comments from our judge Kiriko Kubo on Ethan's winning entry.
Good evening. I'm very sorry that I can't be with you at the reception for the 19th Manga Jiman tonight. But I am very pleased that there were so many first-time applicants this year. Also, there were lots of 4-panel manga entries, which I think is wonderful. Why do I like 4-panel manga so much? Also, 4 panels are short. They can be considered the basic composition of manga. Even longer stories that are not 4-panel can be created by following this pattern: introduction, development, twist, and conclusion. In Japanese, we call this ki, sho, ten, ketsu, and it is a very well-known way of building stories in Japanese culture. You could say that 4 panels are a way of stripping away that isn't needed and focusing on the essence of the story. At first glance, it may seem simple, but explaining something clearly in just 4 panels is actually quite difficult. Too much explanation makes it hard to read and unattractive. The situation must be conveyed with few words or even without any text. It needs to be simple and easy for the reader to understand. That it needs to have a touch of humor that makes the reader chuckle. A Fresh Start, the winning entry in the 4-panel youth category, is simple yet tells a clear story. It seems like it could easily be used to create a long comic. The way the 4 panels are handled is beautifully flowing and possesses a unique style. I believe this work expands the possibilities of the 4-panel format. It was surprising to learn that this was the work of a young artist in the 11 to 13 age category. Congratulations, Ethan Harwano.
For the Yonkoma 14 Plus prize, the winner gets a bespoke prize from the Japanese Gallery Kensington and a framed print of their winning entry from Izan.
Shonen anime and manga are some of the most well-known and well-loved media properties in the world today. Perhaps you eagerly await the next One Piece chapter written by legendary mangaka Eiichiro Oda, who has been lovingly crafting an intricate world flooded with fantastical pirates for 3 decades. The tale follows Monkey D. Luffy and his quest to become the Pirate King by finding the titular One Piece. This manga continues to resonate with millions of readers, young and old, transcending language and borders. With a mightily popular anime and a second season of the live-action show currently airing on Netflix, there are no signs of this pirate epic leaving our minds anytime soon. And if you love the action, the fights, the drama One Piece brings, perhaps you've watched Naruto, whose sublime animation, gripping character and awe-inspiring clashes of secret ninja techniques still reverberates over the world to this day. As Luffy seeks to become the Pirate King, Naruto Uzumaki seeks to become Hokage, the strongest ninja in his village. Both heroes persevere through difficult times, a theme that inspires millions of fans across the globe. So, whether you choose to sail the high seas with Luffy and his crew, or still fondly remember some of the most memorable animated action scenes of the 21st century in Naruto, know there is a community of eager fans right there with you.
Our Yonkoma 14 Plus winner is Luis de Vera.
Luis de Vera, and the title of my entry is Hey. So when I think of the concept bridge, the concept is connecting two different places, like literally or figuratively connecting two different people. So why not two people meeting each other? And then since I think ever since I became a parent, like girl dad, my eldest is a girl. I'm very wary of like, okay, who is she playing with? Is she playing with another boy? When I thought of that, um, okay, what if some guy just said, "Hey, hey," and then I don't know this person, and then I just say, "Hey." So I was like, okay, why not just use the words as a bridge themselves, like literally, and then use the dad's "hey" like something sort of a block, a blockage. The process of manga making is just thinking, writing, and then drawing. But for me, it's procrastination, inspiration, and action.
Let's hear the comments from our judge Kiriko Kubo on Luis's winning entry.
Winning entry in the 4-panel comic category 14 plus is a fun piece combining pictures and text. Hey is a call between lovers, a bridge built between them. But as a twist, the woman's father shouts out, "Hey!" and gets in the way. It's a superb example of a simple yet clear 4-panel comic. Congratulations, Luis de Vera.
Moving on to a special prize in our competition, the Best Youth Prize. Best Youth wins the Manga Shakespeare book series from Self-Made Hero. Best Youth Prize goes to Betsy Wilcock.
My name is Betsy Wilcock and my entry is In Loving Memory. I think I just love everything about art, to be honest, and artists like Gege Akutami and Koyoharu Gotuge, their art styles I've always found so unique, and I thought I would really love to incorporate that into my own art, and there was never really a particular starting point for me. I think I've always absolutely adored art. It's my favourite subject at school. Going for a walk one day and I spotted a memorial bench, and I thought it would be a cool idea to create a story around the idea that the person the bench is dedicated to is still sitting at that bench, but almost like as a ghost. And so when the competition came up with the theme bridge, I thought it was a brilliant opportunity for me to get this idea down, because I almost saw the bench as a bit of a bridge between the living and the dead. So to picture the person who has passed and like they're sitting there next to you, or I've always just thought that's a lovely idea.
Let's hear from Minister Maeda about Betsy's entry.
I was so inspired by Betsy's work, and it was initially hard to believe that it was the category of youth entry, but the idea of seeing a bench at the bridge between the physical and spiritual world and wait for the latter for so long time was really brilliant, and I was so touched by the purity of love created by the young artist. So congratulations again, and I will be looking forward to your next stories. Congratulations.
Moving on to the 10th place. 10th place prize are manga books from Fanfare. 10th place winner is David Chukwuka Jonazuka.
My name is Chukwuka David Jonazuka. The title of my story is Time Bridge. I watched the anime of Naruto as a kid, and it was really inspirational to find out it was just like the author of Naruto that kind of built the story himself and then drew most of it himself. I just like the concept of a single person being able to express their story. Growing up, I see how everyone kind of forget the promises we made as children, and I think if we're more like children, in life, I feel like a lot of problems would be solved. So my story was kind of looking at how we grow up and kind of how we forget about how we all used to be friends, and all of a sudden everyone is separated by a whole bunch of different things. That was kind of the idea at the beginning. In the story, the bridge is where they made the promise of being friends forever. The bridge to me kind of symbolizes their friendship, because it's this place they come to, and it kind of like my story revolves around the bridge, and that's where the main things happen. It's kind of the magical thing about the story, I guess.
In 9th place wins a book and a t-shirt from Fanfare. T-shirt from Fanfare. And our 9th prize winner is Olivia Mika.
My name is Mika Olivia, and the title of my entry is Abandoned. I became interested in manga, I think, after watching Spirited Away for the first time when I was about 9 years old. It was, and still is, something that sticks very closely in my head. It's something I think about a lot. I never experienced a story like it. Led me to the first manga I ever read a few years later, borrowing my friend's copy of Volume 1, 2, and 3 of Tokyo Ghoul. Biggest influences are JoJo's Bizarre Adventure by Hirohiko Araki. The storytelling and art, as well as the amount of story that has been made for JoJo's, has inspired me to create art and manga especially, and not to overthink it.
Runner up is 8th place. The 8th place wins a book and a t-shirt from Fanfare. 8th place winner is Narita Faiza.
So I'm Narita. My entry is titled Death Must Wait. It's really about the love between a girl and her cat, kind of based off me and my own cat, Maya. And I guess in terms of the theme of bridge, it was kind of looking at the bridge between life and death, and how even in death, because of the love that's shared between a girl and a cat, death wouldn't be able to stop her from returning one last time to be able to, commit one final act of love, which would be to feeding her. I suppose it's down to me kind of thinking all the time about if I ever pass, I guess it's kind of morbid, but if I ever passed away, what would happen to my cat and how would I be able to get to her one last time?
Next is 7th place. The winning entrant in 7th place gets a t-shirt from Fanfare and Japanese sweets from Minamoto Kichon. And the winner is Abbas Yikin.
My name is Abbas Yakin. Title of my entry is Building Bridges. The more I read the manga, the more I got into it, the more interested I got, the more I wanted to find out how it was made. And I suppose during that process of curiosity, that's when I wanted to make one. Initially, I determined a definition for bridges. So I came up with that bridges is something that connects or you use to transfer something that connects to different items, whether it be places across the sea, across a piece of land, whether it be relationships. So after defining that, it's all about sub-pillars or sub-themes I can use to communicate that. And that's where connection came about. Okay, I had two characters. One of the characters was not willing to connect, whereas one was willing to connect. So the bridge between them, figuratively speaking, not a literal bridge, that's the angle I came from.
6 more to go. Our 6th place this year wins Japanese sweets from Minamoto Kitchen and a t-shirt and 2 cinema tickets from the Regent Street Cinema. 6th place winner is Neil Rimmer.
Neil Rimmer, Toll House. So the idea came from my love of folklore. I started researching how bridges appear in these types of stories, and I came across a concept called the Devil's Bridge and their legends, which caught my attention. I was fascinated by the idea of a price has to be paid to be able to transition and cross the bridge, just like a toll house, which also inspired the name. And I liked it. I wanted to combine that blend of mythology and structure with a twist. I wanted to really challenge myself with dynamic panels and the layouts and be a lot more ambitious with perspective drawing, which did take a few attempts and plenty of redrawing happened, especially with the detailed backgrounds that I wanted to incorporate into the comic. But that challenge was the best part of it, which was
5th place, we have another special gift from Minamoto Kitchen and a cinema membership, plus a tote bag from the Regent Street Cinema. 5th place winner is Haley Jennings.
My name is Haley Jennings, and the title of my entry is I Wish. The story is generally about a magical realm that is comprised of almost seemingly never-ending bridges, and the story follows one man's journey across these endless bridges to reach the end and have a wish granted. He ends up finding companionship in a magpie as he travels, and the two form a really close bond and help remind each other of like their purpose for being here so that ultimately their wishes can be fulfilled. Every year I enter, I try to put myself out of my comfort zone with lighting, composition, design elements. And this year was probably my most difficult yet because the style I chose is completely different to what I'm used to. It was just like so tricky to put together ultimately, but so very rewarding when I got to look at it and just think, wow, I actually drew that. That's me.
Only 4 to go. Winner in 4th place will get a £100 worth voucher for Japan Center. Winner is Josie Fox.
So my name is Josie Fox and my entry is called Bridge to Chorus. come up with something that sort of clicked and felt right for me to work on. And then I was sort of thinking about it for a while, and I happened to be at a concert with a friend and just sort of had this light bulb moment of, it was one of those moments where it was quite a small gig and it was very intimate, and it was just that sort of feeling of being connected with the friends that I was with and the music itself and the musicians and the strangers in the crowd, but like in that moment you're sort of connected and kind of one. And it sort of thought, oh, this is like, because of the music and this experience was sort of being bridged together. And it felt like a bit of a light bulb moment. And from then it sort of I kept thinking about it. And then I was thinking of the concept of that as a more abstract type of bridge. And then just sort of kept thinking about that for a long time and kept developing the concept of it. And that's where that came from.
We are at top 3. Are you ready? Our third place winner wins an air purifier from Dakin and a special print from Eason. Our third place winner is Katie Diffin.
My name is Katie Elizabeth Diffin, and my title entry is Communication 101. I decided I wanted to make something personal to myself because I've been reading a lot of people's personal stories, and I was just having a very difficult day myself that day. I felt like whatever I was saying wasn't getting understood, to the point I'm just thinking, if my mum was here, this would go a lot better. And I'm like, bingo. This is just going to be a rage comic. Going to have a bit of fun, lightheartedness, but it'll be a personal experience that maybe not many people would understand unless they're autistic and in those situations themselves. Bridge can be interpreted in many ways, and I thought about how it could be done. I'm going to make my mum the bridge in this story. Obviously, the bridge can change from time to time. It can be your friend, a mum, a family member, but just somebody who understands you, somebody who's a helper who maybe helps you cross over, see new experiences, just broaden your horizon.
Let's hear from our judge Maya Gartner about Katie's entry.
Thank you. So this winning manga gave us something truly special, a window into the world as experienced by its creator, an autistic mangaka. Through the thoughtful use of manga style and the striking use of orange, creative, sometimes distorted visualization and use of panels, this manga communicates personal experiences in a way that draws the reader in and creates a real sense of connection. I myself was really inspired by this manga. I found it super special. It was a story that gave me a new perspective. It helped me experience feelings and emotions that were new and that stuck with me. In the true sense of bridging, it gave me a window into a new world. With honesty, humor, and imagination, this story reminds us how powerful manga can be in fostering understanding and bringing people closer together. Congratulations, Katie, and thank you.
Only 2. 2 goes to second place. Gets a digital camera sponsored by Ricoh UK. And second place goes to Casey Carroll Boyle.
My name is Casey Carroll Boyle, and the name of my entry is Bridge Densetsu. I've always drawn since I was young, but I sort of really started to take it seriously by the time I was about 15. It was when I was really like, oh, I want to improve at this. I guess the thing that gave me a lot of interest in drawing was, funny enough, the World of Warcraft comics. And at that time I was really into video game art and, fantasy games. So that was a much bigger influence on my art. I did always read manga when I was younger, especially starting with Yu-Gi-Oh! Saw the theme of bridge. I was thinking, do I be metaphorical with it? Do I try and be sort of brainy about it? But I was thinking, like, how do I draw? What have I drawn in the past? What are my strengths? And I have drawn a fair bit of sort of fantasy comedy. So I was like, well, that's probably the best way to go about it. And I was like, how do I make a fantasy story just revolve entirely around a bridge? And I was like, it could just be a rickety bridge, and all they have to do is cross a bridge. Nothing sort of deep or metaphorical. They literally just have to cross over a bridge. So that's what I went with. And yeah, sort of at the time I was drawing it, I was kind of revisiting a lot of old, like, Toriyama stuff, like his Dragon Quest stuff. I recently got into the Dragon Quest manga. Came across a lot of old, like, 80s Famicom and, like, those games. So it was just that sort of fantasy was all in my head. So I was like, well, I might as well translate that into what I'm drawing.
Let's hear from our judge, Paul Gravitt, about Casey's winning entry.
Yes, congratulations, Casey, and fantastic entry. All the judges really love the energy. You put a lot of kind of, you mentioned Toriyama, there's a lot of shonen energy in the comic, and we love the twist ending. But along the way, you use some of the classic techniques of manga really well, visual, verbal, and all the little icons and symbols that make this language so rich and powerful. So congratulations, we look forward to. And you were first, I haven't mentioned it, some of these people tonight, and you are a first-time entrant. So, straight in number 2, that's pretty amazing. The only way is up, isn't it? So enter next year, please, who knows. I just want to make one other thing, congratulations to you, of course, is that we today learned that one of the absolute titans of manga, one of the most important mangaka on the planet, has passed away on March 3rd. His name is Suge Yoshihiro. And in Japan, there are 2 mountains or peaks of manga. One was the great Tezuka Osamu, who died in 1989, and the other is Suge Yoshihiro. And what he did was to add a whole revolutionary approach to manga by personalizing it, putting his own life experience, which we've seen already, into his work. That was back in 1965, when it was completely new. And what was exciting about it too is that quite quickly his key work, which is called Nejishiki, or screw style, was rave reviews, was praised and recognized by the literary world. They realized manga is something that can be profound and personal and autobiographical. And it was brand new in the mid-60s. Japan actually led the world, as far as I can see, in doing autobio or autofiction. Watakushi is the name, something like that, in manga form. So that's just an honour also to this great studio who's just passed. But most of all, of course, honour to you, JC, and to all our winners this evening. We've got one more to go. It's the winner, the top winner.
You know where we are at. First prize winner for the 19th Manga Jiman Competition wins a bespoke print from the Japanese gallery, Kensington.
Full Metal Alchemist, perhaps one of the most beloved series of the 21st century. The story follows a talented young alchemist, Edward, and his brother, Al, who, in their desperate attempt to bring back their mother, lose more than they bargained for in a forbidden ritual. Unfortunately, the ritual goes wrong and Al loses his body, and Edward, in a desperate attempt to save him, sacrifices his arm to put his soul in a suit of armor. With deep feelings of regret, the duo seek to make themselves whole once more. Hiromu Arakawa paints a fantastical steampunk world in deep tones of moral ambiguity, leaving readers and viewers alike to ponder how far they would go for what they believe is right. Wait, did you see that? The teen detective turned kid detective, Meitante Conan, is also on a quest to reclaim his former self with deductive skills that would put Sherlock Holmes to shame, and a series of gadgets that would make James Bond jealous. Shinichi Kudo pursues the truth, solving cases, chasing subjects on his action-packed journey to expose the black organization and find a way back to his original self. Beloved across the globe, with a long-running serialized manga and anime, and plenty of action-packed movies, fans worldwide eagerly await the next twist in this modern tale of mystery and intrigue.
And the 19th Manga Jiman Competition winner is Jamie Dunn.
Hi there, my name is Jamie Dunn and the title of my entry was Lagarde. So I actually took part for the first time back in like 2010, 2011 when I was a teenager. I actually won a prize in the junior category when I took part, and then I did it a couple of other times again, doing it every year, and it's only recently that I kind of was reminded that it existed and decided to give it a go again. As soon as I saw the theme for this year, which was Bridge, I knew that I had to do something to do with one of the biggest landmarks in Bristol, which is the Clifton Suspension Bridge. I knew that I wanted to kind of do something in my story about my home city anyway, because it's a big part of all the inspiration that I've had over the years and things like that. So I was like, the theme is bridge. I can take that very, very literally and just use the bridge. But at the same time, I then took it another step further and took some of the elements of both the street art community that Bristol has. It's very kind of modern and thriving, but because it's a very old city, there's also this kind of underlying history of like ghost stories and folklore and urban legends as well that is a real big part of the kind of the history and the culture of the city. And I wanted to kind of bring all of that
Jamie,
in together.
Congratulations! Please come to the stage together with our sponsor, Eddie Wertheim.
Like it said in the video, I first took part a very long time ago when I was a teenager. And I've always loved making comics, I've always loved telling stories, I've always loved the opportunities that this competition gives for you to just try something new every year. The theme is different every year, it gives you an opportunity to try and explore concepts that you wouldn't normally give much thought to. So when I saw the theme for this year, I knew I had to do something, and I knew I had to pay tribute to my home city and all the inspiration that it's given me over the years. Yeah, I'm really glad everybody liked it. Thank you very much. I worked very hard on it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you for all of those that you entered the competition, and thank you to the judges and the embassy for providing this location for this competition to take place. But the one person that I would love for everyone to give a big round of applause to is Mark. I hope you all had an enjoyable evening. The evening is still young, so do go around, look at the amazing manga works that are on display. And for those who are of age, have a tipple or two. With that being said, have a lovely.
Please let's hear from Ilya.
As Jamie said, they entered a long time ago, I believe it was 2011, and in the comments about that said that one of their inspirations was seeing previous entries published in an anthology. I was the editor of that anthology, so it's really nice to see Story Lagarde, my original comments at the time, nicely done, a full story, original, stylish, and humour. So, you know, a bit of everything. It was voted for the shortlist by everyone on the judging panel, so that's myself, Paul Grivet, Kirika Kubo, Maya Gutner, and Minister Maeda of the embassy. So that's unanimous win, which I think you can hold close and take home with you as well. I did recognise the sitting because I went to college at Bristol, or Bristol, as they do say. And I also really appreciate on a personal level the urban graffiti stylings throughout. It was a pleasure to read, clear, exciting, dense with tone work, without losing the pace or comprehension, which is much harder than it looks. And Jamie themselves describes making manga process as slow, iterative, I'm going to go and look that up, and rewarding. Jams can draw, as the previously says, and write, and wins! Well done.
Congratulations to all winners! Huge thanks to our sponsors, and see you next year at the 20th Manga Jiman Competition.